there are about $40 trillion in circulation. This means with 8.1 billion people worldwide, we each have approximately $5,000 to survive on. Every homeowner who pays off their mortgage realizes the scale of the scam, because what they initially thought was a property worth $250,000 with a 30-year installment payment, and a flexible interest rate that started at less than 1% to lure them in suddenly increased to an average of 6% after 4 years. This means the initial property they thought they were buying for $250,000 ended up costing over $500,000 because of that interest rate scam. Now, because $500,000 is out of the market, 99 others will have to starve to death. This is not a nightmare story, but the real reality we experience now. Egotism doesn't care about us because they themselves are hurt, having not had the best possible childhood and never felt that they were enough. They never grew up feeling unconditional love. The love they got was based on constantly having to prove their worth. Because of that, they have the issue of wishing prosperity for all and taking their happiness from seeing themselves in a better situation than others. We have been living in darkness our entire lives, blaming everyone outside of looking at ourselves. As long as we can't forgive others and understand that we all ultimately come from Adam's rib and will return to where we came from, we are just dust with a heart and mind in search of true connection where we can open up ourselves. But this requires trust and unconditional love. Love that understands we are all one and must learn to look at each other through the lens of oneness, focusing on our commonalities. Otherwise, with the rise of AI agents and humanoid AI robots, egotism will see us as burdens and treat us like we treat a cockroach today. We might find ourselves dehumanized and abandoned because we start looking to external factors, instead of learning to value what we already have, and that is each other, our authentic, priceless selves. Can we open our hearts toward each other before the clock ticks midnight? I really hope we will, because what's coming is a painful and sad end result. Our only wish to connect will fail, and everything will turn into darkness. A darkness even an enemy would be left in vain to realize how cruel life can become. Remember how easy people find it to kill and mistreat a cockroach once they lose understanding of its value. Poverty is a construct by design stemming from egotism. We ask for money in the form of donations to solve the issue of starvation, but claim it's not money that solves the issue simultaneously. There are plenty of resources for all if we learn to share equally among everyone. This means we can't have power in the hands of a few, as capitalism, communism, or socialism operate. We need empathy in every layer of society. We cannot create rules based on favoritism, but on constructive reasoning, where any legislation and every vote must explain their reasoning on how it will benefit everyone, not just today, but consistently over time. This requires understanding how one action can ripple out and have a larger impact on all lives. Punishing our kids will lead their mirror neurons to replicate this behavior toward another peer in school. If we explained the logic behind what we forbid, our kids would find clarity, as our curious minds search for the logical truth behind everything. This helps to avoid following anyone blindly later in life without realizing the impact our actions could have on others and even ourselves. It's time for change. Let's be the generation that brings true change. Let's make 2025 a year of global redemption. Let's look into everyone's eyes and realize they are all just ourselves, afraid of being abandoned if they open up their hearts. Let's understand that we are all struggling with our self-worth deep down and that we are all tired of pretending. We just need to trust that others will not abuse us once we let down the walls we created to protect ourselves from being hurt. True courage is in opening up and admitting that we are all tired of this endless struggle. Let's be the generation that paves the path for future generations so that no one has to go through these dark times again. Let's unite as one big world family instead of 200 separate countries. Let's write down all the logical understanding we have gathered and call it the book of life. Let's train AI to understand the paths of empathy and egotism so it can protect us and our children from falling into the same traps again. When we return to life without a memory in a random place, we will be in safe hands. because we made sure our kids are correctly educated to understand our inherent interconnectedness, and how one wrong thought that fails to understand the long-term ripple effects upon the collective, left unchallenged, can affect all of us again. Let's focus on shared values, shared wins, and shared contributions, not individual contributions and values, because at the end of the road, what we truly seek is love and connection, which require trust. When we return to life without a memory in a random place, we will be in safe hands, because we made sure our kids are correctly educated to understand our inherent interconnectedness, and how one wrong thought that fails to understand the long-term ripple effects upon the collective, left unchallenged, can affect all of us again. Let's focus on shared values, shared wins, and shared contributions, not individual contributions and values, because at the end of the road, what we truly seek is love and connection, which require trust. If we could live forever instead of returning each time, like in a dream, not remembering our dream from yesterday in tomorrow's dream, but starting with a fresh new dream every time, life would quickly become boring and lead us to destructive behavior because we lose taste in life. This would never give us the obligation to create a just and equitable society for all, as it does now when we are reborn to a random place each time. The only way to ensure we don't fear death is to trust that the values we left behind will ripple out positively. No matter when or where we return, we will experience unconditional love and have a great childhood and adult life, regardless of the circumstances we are born into. Even if we are born handicapped as an animal or insect, or even as an artificial being, we ensure that we all will treat each other with love and understanding. Let's make it happen. Let's make 2025 the year of rebirth and the great awakening that has already been unfolding, but now needs to be spoken out publicly and worked on to make it a reality for all. One for all and all for one. I love you from the depths of my soul, and these words came with tears of hope and love.